Hello and welcome to this video on multiplying and dividing algebraic fractions. This concept is a lot more easier than adding and subtracting algebraic fractions. You do not need to have had watched the adding and subtracting to understand this one. They are separate, but they do go hand in hand. For this, we will just start off fairly difficult. Let's go with x plus 3 over 2 times 3 over y. This already looks like a difficult question, but I will break it down. It is fairly simple. When we have any sort of fraction like this, I always say to put these sort of terms into brackets. So you have an x plus 3 there, put them in brackets. That will help for adding, for subtracting, for multiplying, and for dividing. Put them into brackets. When we are multiplying, it is very simple because we just multiply the top and we multiply the bottom. The numerators multiply with each other, the denominators multiply with each other. So I can already just write this as a single fraction. I will start with the denominators, which are these ones here. And I'll go 2 times y. You may wonder what 2 times y is. Well, in actual fact, 2 times y is 2y. 3 times y would be 3y. 4 times y is 4y. Same with x's, same with any letter. 2 times any letter is just 2, and you write the letter. So 2y. On top, it's a little bit more tricky because we are going to write 3, and I'm going to put the brackets in. 3 times, I'm going to put this bracket in, x plus 3. You should see that this bit here is this. And this 3 here is this 3 here. So I've taken this 3 and put it there. And I've taken this set of brackets and put it there. All right? So 3 times x plus 3. We can go a step further with this. What we can do, we can take our 3 here and we can multiply it into our bracket. And that means we need to multiply it with both terms. Both terms inside of our bracket. So on top of my fraction bar, I will have 3 times x, which is 3x. And I have 3 times 3, which is 9. And that is all over 2y because that stays the same. And that is the answer, 3x plus 9 over 2y. Let me show you a question that is slightly easier that you may get. You may get a question that is just x over y times 3 over 4. If you get a question like this, just remember we are multiplying the numerators and we are multiplying the denominators. So all we are going to do here is x times 3 and y times 4, which is equal to 3x over 4y. That is the answer to that question. So these questions can vary in difficulty, all the way from this being kind of easy to this one being the hardest that you'll get. If you can do the hardest questions, you'll have no problem with the easy questions. So let's move on to dividing. We just did multiplying, let's move on to dividing. And dividing has one rule that you need to remember, and it makes it easy. Let's have a question like this. Let's do an easy question first, and then we'll move on to a more difficult question. So let's go x over 4 divided by 3 over x. Now, unlike multiplying, we do not just divide there and divide there. However, there is a simple thing that we do in this case. This is equal to x over 4 multiplied by x over 3. If you can't see what I just did there, let's look at this. Our second fraction on our left, I have flipped it. I've flipped the numerator and the denominator. What was the denominator here is now the numerator here, and what was the numerator here is now the denominator here. This is called the reciprocal. That is the technical term for it. It is the reciprocal. It is when you flip a fraction. And when you do that, when you flip a fraction, the sign also flips. When I say flip, I just mean it goes from a divide to a multiplication. The sign goes from a divide to a multiplication. So now that we've done that, it might be fairly easy for you to answer this question because now we do just multiply the top and multiply the bottom. So we do x times x, which is x squared. And we multiply it and we go over, put our fraction bar, and we do 4 times 3, which is 12. And that is the answer, x squared over 12. Let's do another one that's a little bit harder. It's only as hard as the first one we did for multiplication. So this question here, x plus 3 divided by 2, divided by y divided by 4. Let's remember the first thing that we do here. We want to turn this into a multiplication to make it easier for ourselves. So we will go x plus 3 over 2. We will leave that one alone. But instead, for this one, we will multiply it by 4 over y. We will flip this last one. We flip it. Once we've done that, we are then just multiplying the top and the bottom. Remember, please, to put this into brackets. When we're multiplying, adding, subtracting, put anything like this, anything that is two terms where it's adding or subtracting, please put it into brackets. Because our job now is to go x plus 3 times 4 over 2 times y. Now what we're going to do here is put that 4 into the brackets by multiplying it with each term. And this gives us 4 times x, which is 4x, 4 times 3, which is 12, over 2 times y is 2y. And that is our answer. So that is multiplying and dividing algebraic fractions. If you know how to multiply, you know how to divide. Just remember the rule of flipping that final fraction. Hope this has been helpful. Continue with your practice. Thank you.